All right. Well, hello to Robertoria, season 8 winner. Welcome to the BB Disney After Show.
Ooh,
Thank you for having us.
yeah.
Oh, of course. So, yeah, like I was telling you before, this is your interview. We're gonna I have a couple basic questions, and we'll just sort of go from there. Feel free to share anything. So, first thing we always ask our contestants, players, you know, you guys. Um, what was your favorite part of the BB Disney experience?
Mm, I don't know. Do you have one, Victoria? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, honestly, this might sound cheesy, but honestly, the fact that when we got united as one player, that actually was amazing because I feel like we blended each other well. And I feel like if anybody else was, I don't know, like for example, I'm gonna be real because this isn't going out anywhere. I'm gonna be real. If I had to be a duo with Trevor, I would have been so pissed off. But thankfully, it was Robert, due to unfortunate circumstances. But I feel like being a duo was like the best thing because we were able to complement each other really well. So I liked how we were able to you were able to be more of the strategist and I was more of the like empathy, I guess. So I think us working together was the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think mine was kind of a collection of moments. I think pre-jury, like us as single players was just like the most dramatic experience I ever had in an org. I like walked in and like I felt like I had this weird target on my back. I was like, oh, I thought, just the Michael Randall stuff, the Allison stuff. I was like, why is there so much drama and issues? Why is this 40-year-old woman running her mouth like this? Why is this man thinking that like I'm out to get him and I care about a game in July? I told Victoria this, like I don't even remember what I ate a week ago. I do not care. But you know, even with like the dark cloud the two of them brought, what was really that whole weekend, the person I bonded with and talked to the most and shared all my like frustrations and problems was actually Victoria. So I think it was very poetic that we got combined because it was like the person who I had like, after like day 3, day 4, Victoria was at the bottom of my trust list. Not because I didn't trust her, but just because we didn't chat. So it was really cool to see her just like climb up my list and then be together. But honestly, like, so it was just jury phase was just such a much more enjoyable game. Obviously, like us winning HOH and Molly winning HOH, those first 4 rounds was really nice because we didn't have to worry about being evicted. But honestly, like the systematic elimination of Adam, Trevor, Crispy, Grace was so great because I felt like those 4 in general had so much power pre jury phase. So it was really cool to kind of get it flipped and the cool kids, even though we never felt that we were the cool kids, were kind of able to take the power. So I think those are 2 of my favorite moments. But I think if I had to pick one, it would be just combining with Victoria because it was really interesting that the person who I like grew so quickly with in terms of a friendship I now got to work closely with.
Yeah, and so can you to continue on with what he said? He did say I was at the bottom of his list, and I remember because like I was just hearing unfortunately I heard like bad things about him, and that was, but then I got to know him and I realized how good of a person he was, and I was like I remember telling the diary room chat I was like I do not care how cute he is, I am gonna gun for him, and then we ended up being together, which is pretty ironic.
Yeah, and I'm just as responsible in like putting her because like I think I had chats with everyone except her, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want to because I was potentially gonna win an HOH. I was like, I don't want to make relationships with everyone and then have to like upset 2 people. I was like, so Victoria would have been like the easy like I don't want to say pawn because I hate that word, but would have been like the easy person to nominate because I could just be like, we don't have a chat, Victoria. You're up. Okay, bye. On to the next person. So it was, and then I remember Victoria reached out and then like shared her music and then we just clicked. And so it was like a nice reminder to be like the reason why we play is to meet people. So like icing people out is not cool. And I'm glad that she reached out because right, like if she never did, it would have been like really awkward when we were put together.
Yeah, also we had like a 2-hour call one day, so like we really like connected.
Yeah, during the Dark Cloud weekend. I don't know. I forgot we named it something. It was like something gate. 2023. During that, Victoria and I like chatted for like 2.5 hours because it was just like I was just like, this is just a lot to like process. So it was nice to have someone to just like listen.
Absolutely. And I can attest, as being in both of your DRs, the turnaround in your relationships. So it was really fun to watch from the outside. I was like, yeah, they, you kind of both we're both like, yeah, don't really talk to one another in the beginning, but you never know in a game what's going to happen. And look at us now. You two came together and you're like, our powers combined. A little play on, something I won't I can't even think of the word. Well, it's Captain Planet is what I was trying to imitate, but yeah, no, you guys came together and just that was like super fun. Was that a twist that you were expecting, or?
I wasn't, and honestly, at that point when I thought it was gonna be like a battle back, I think is what everyone thought. So like on live night, I was just like over the entire game. Like I think Evan was always going to beat O'Malley. Like I didn't doubt that, but I told him, I was like, just please beat O'Malley. I was like, it's dumb that she's getting nominated because people want me gone. I was like, stop. Like, I was like, not that I didn't care, but I was just like, I don't want to keep playing. Like when I have to start 10 yards behind everyone else. And then I was like, okay, if it's a battle back, like I'll do my best. But like if I have to face off against Victoria, I'm not going to be mad if I lose to her because I really care about her as a person. So, and then the whole like combining, I was like, this is because like we've talked about how it was a huge advantage that we worked together, but we always played it off as a disadvantage because we didn't want, we don't want that to work against us. But it felt like it was because I felt like Victoria, like I'm very much just like this person's getting evicted by like that's the game. You have to vote people out. Victoria was like, oh, let's like talk to them more, like stay empathetic, like get to know them more. So I think that helped me out. And then I think Victoria, like not to speak for you, but I feel like you kind of sometimes got in your head with like challenges. And like I like the challenges, like it's just challenges, great, sign me up. So I think that was like what I felt like the nice balance was. Victoria was able to help the social and I was able to help the more like competition aspect. And that's why I thought it was a huge advantage because like I remember like Ingrid told us that like she wanted me gone and Adam because they're like, you're good at comps. And then when Victoria had to play for half of them, they were like, okay, like we're not as worried about him. And then we were like, ha 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 ha. We're
Yeah,
still gonna win them.
yeah, I really thought I thought it was a battle back too, and we were gonna have to compete. And then when we found out that we became one, that was so shocking. And yeah, I'm not gonna downplay it. I am not the greatest in comps, but I will toot my own horn for having that cup on my head for about an hour. But unfortunately, Trevor beat me, and yeah, I don't know. Trevor's another story for another day. But yeah, I feel like we kind of worked together, and I think Robert's right because when they saw that I had to compete, I guess they didn't really care as much or they weren't as worried. So maybe that actually became an advantage for us because they didn't really see Robertoria as that strong when I competed, but we are still on the down low. We were still around and we're still controlling the game a bit.
Yeah, and I think I will say I'm terrible at endurance comps, and you were definitely better at them than me. So it was kind of funny that it worked out like that. Like the comp that I fall off 5 minutes in. I was like, oh, it's Victoria's good at those. But yeah, nobody ever thought it was an advantage. Everyone thought it was a disadvantage. But we always talked about how everyone has to give 100%, but I could give 50 one day, or I could give 60 one day. Victoria could give 40. I could give 30 one day. She could get 70. So it was actually I think it made the game A, more fun for me, and B, easier. But I was not gonna ever tell people that the game was easier for us.
Yeah, I even remember you messaged me in our DR chat. It's hey, we have this huge advantage. And the thing is, people didn't really notice that it was an advantage because of how we downplayed it, and also maybe just because of their personal beliefs.
Yeah, I would just always say oh well, I can't make decisions on my own. It just takes more time to make decisions. But I felt like we were in the same wavelength. What was really helpful is I think we had the same relationships with everyone. So it was never I really want this person to stay. I think in Victoria was like, no, they need to go. I think like Evan was the only one we were like a little split on, but everyone else like we were on the same page with.
Yeah, it was awesome watching you guys work. And one of the questions I typically ask in these is, would you do anything differently? But I think you two worked so like I think you're truly watching you from not like really having the relationship to building one, and then like, oh yeah, like now we're Robertoria, which was so funny. The picture that they used for you guys with the the doll head thing that always cracked
Yeah.
me up. But I'm gonna totally not throw you guys for a loop, but I always love hearing everyone answer this. And this is completely, your own thing. This is actually a question from Jill, but we've been asking if you could compare your game to a Pixar movie, what would it be and why?
I always felt like my individual game. I think I actually mentioned this in it's not called Final Tribal Council, obviously, in finale. I felt
No,
like
yeah.
I felt like Good Dinosaur because even though I don't like that movie, that main dinosaur like just cannot get anything right. And that's how pre-jury was. And then I felt like Monsters University, like Mia Sully, Victoria's Mike Wazowski, I thought was like really helpful because like they had to work together as a team throughout the whole movie. And like Holly's tall, I'm tall. No, Sully I felt like was more just like this is how it is. Like these are how these things run. And Mike Wazowski had so much heart, and that's like one of the first things I'll say when I would think of Victoria as a partner is that she had a lot of heart and a lot of like empathy and a lot of emotional intelligence. And Sully's just like, let's just go, let's just get this done with. Like move, move, move. And that's how I feel like I play. I'm just like, let's go, go, go.
Yeah, I feel like Inside Out like really
Mhm.
captured me as a solo player, but also us as together. Just like when I think her name was Riley. She had
Yep.
to she had to move, and she didn't really like that. She was thinking of leaving, and honestly, like I hate to say it, but during the game, like I had my moments where I feel like, oh, I don't think I can go on go on in this game, and I voiced that to Robert, but I kept on going, and then at the end Riley ended up going back home. So I guess it was worth it sticking in this game because we were able to make it to the end and win.
Absolutely, you did. Yeah, that was a great finale. I remember watching it, going, "Wow, this is like something in those votes." You guys like it was like the edge of your seats, but hey, you got the five, so welcome to the BB Disney Winner Circle. Um, I hope you both had an amazing time playing. It sounds like you did. You made some really good bonds and stuff. Is there anything else you wanted to share that you maybe wanted to go over or?
Um,
Yeah, actually, I want to say something. I know,
Sure.
like, I feel like in this game, I feel like I know I'm mentioning Trevor a lot, but I'm very shocked he voted for us to win. I did not think he was going to do that. And I also like to like the fact that we were in this game as a duo. Like we were able to see where people were kind of aligned in a sense because sometimes like people like Adam and Trevor, they didn't really talk to me. And then when we had the jury votes, they were kind of making it seem like I was like at fault for it when really it was definitely a mutual thing. But thankfully they voted for us to win. But it was definitely they mainly talked to Robert. They didn't really give me the chance to say anything. I just felt like I was more of an observer than um than being able to participate because like when we're in this game and I remember Adam was saying in the final vote he was saying oh like when we were in a video chat it was mainly him and Robert talking and as a person who was very like shy and has anxiety and things like that it was very hard for me like to like to jump in and that's something I struggle with but it's definitely something I feel I've learned like I need to work on to be more like social in these games because I realize when you're not talking as much, people end up putting your name out more, which is unfortunate. But I definitely feel like it's something that I'm gonna have to work on the courage as for future games if I continue doing future orgs.
yeah. I think it was the definitely like stark difference because there's like it was Evan, not Evan, sorry, it was Adam, Trevor, and Grace. I felt like only really talked to me like Like, there was that time Grace was like, Robert, I need to talk to you on like the phone. And she was like, Victoria, you can come if you want. And it was like, okay, that's a very blunt way of saying Victoria's, I don't care about Victoria's opinion, I only care about Robert's. And Adam and Trevor, I felt like that too, because and I know like they both mentioned like, oh, we felt like you weren't giving anything Victoria. But if you like looked at our chats with Angela, with Ingrid or Rose, they would always be like, how are you both doing today? Like, Robert, how are you doing? Victoria, how is this going? Like Andrew. And that was definitely part of our reasons, like, because I remember the first vote, we were like really like, oh, like let's work with Adam. Like we really enjoyed our conversations. We didn't really talk with Ingrid. But then as like the day progressed, we were like, Ingrid's at least trying to include both of us in conversation. Adam isn't. Like, I would rather keep Ingrid over here. But yeah, no, I'm not. I feel like we played a solid game. I feel like we didn't make any promises that we couldn't honor. Like we didn't make final two agreements with anyone, and that's kind of the advantage of us being a pair. Is I had a ride or die, and my ride or die has to have my best interest because we're the same player. So I think Molly would have been the only person we would have like had like a final two with. But so I think that's what burned Evan, is he made so many promises, and when it came time to collect, he couldn't deliver. But I was surprised that we got Andrew and Crispy's votes. I think Crispy's vote was the most surprised that we got. I think just yeah. Oh, you can go.
Yeah, and I also thought like I was a bit shocked, but not pissed off at all. But I was a little bit shocked that Molly and Rose didn't vote for us, because I thought Molly would have appreciated our game, especially the Robert and Robertoria, and they didn't, and that's fine. But I don't know. I guess those two shocked, like the fact that they didn't vote for us, and the people who did vote for us, I didn't think they would have, but they did.
I'm trying to remember. Was there 11 jurors or were there 9 jurors? I think
It was 9.
It was 9. Okay. Yeah, I think going into it, I felt like if I had to make a prediction, I think going into it, we were like nervous that people were two things I was nervous about. I was nervous that people were gonna be like, you both were already evicted, like, and you guys came back on a twist. But in our rebuttal for that, we talked about that. Our rebuttal was you all were told that whoever gets evicted is not leaving. So that's why like we didn't really fight or care. Cause like that HOH I like dropped 10 seconds in because I was like, I don't want to nominate 2 people and they're not even guaranteed to be evicted. Then ironically I get nominated and evicted. But so like I think it was I was like going into it, but then we didn't really get much heat. The only thing we knew that we were going to get questions about Victoria not being as active, and we prepared ourselves for that. But Evan got a lot of heat and he got very tongue-tied. So like I was like, I could see us winning, but I thought that we were going to get Molly and Rose's vote, and that I'm trying to think. I thought it was going to be Trevor, which I know felt weird. I was like, but I feel like Trevor respects us because like we told him we were evicting him. Like we did it. There was such a big theme around telling people you're evicting them, which I've only ever done Survivor, and so you don't really tell people on Survivor, is what I feel like at least. But we told every single person that we were evicting them. Even Grace on the live night. Nobody else. She wanted people to tell her. Nobody was going to say anything, so we told her. So I was like, I thought we'd get Grace, Adam, and Trevor, and then I thought Molly and Rose. So it was when we got the crispy vote, I was like, maybe we'll get Andrew, like maybe we'll win this. So it worked out.
The thing is, oh sorry, when Grace got voted out, Andrew kind of made it seem like, I remember we talked about Andrew kind of made it seem like it was Molly's fault, I think, and that sucked hugely because Molly, like, she honestly, like, we called it, like at least I called it. I was like, yep, she's the hero of the season and she won that award as she should. And the thing is, like, whenever she would nominate, I could tell like it really, I don't know the right word for it, but I could tell like it took a toll on her, and the fact that a lot of people
heavy on her.
Yeah, and a lot of people like they just, I don't know, I don't think they realized it. And also like the whole like disagreement between her and Trevor was just really just nasty in my opinion.
It's funny that she was able to, like she wasn't trying to, she just was able to get him through. Like she blew up his game, but she wasn't even sneaky about it. She was just being herself. And I thought that was like such a fun move because like it's not like she went in plotting like, oh, I'm gonna like blow Trevor's game up. She just was like, these are my allies and I'm not nominating them. She played honest. Yeah. I think, yeah, poor Andrew. I feel like Andrew had a really good shot, but he like shot himself in the foot because when I thought like I don't know if he still believes this, but I swear when Evan won HOH, I thought Victoria we were being nominated. Like we both talked about it. We're like, we're gonna get nominated. And then we didn't. And I was like, okay, between Rose and Andrew, like I'd rather see Rose get evicted. Like she's a huge threat. Like if it was us sitting next to Rose, it probably would have been a 9-0 Rose winning. And that's if she was up against Evan as well. And I think Crispy mentioned it that everyone wanted her to win. And she kind of mentioned it too. So it was, but poor Andrew, like he threw Molly under the bus because he like, we told Grace that we were evicting her. And then Andrew was like, well, I can make it a 2-2, but Molly would just evict you. And Molly was like, I can speak for myself. Like, and he just like threw Molly under the bus on a live. So I was like, then when he was nominated, I was like, oh, like I kind of don't like that. Like Molly's our closest ally. We need to do what's best for her as well. But then he like went around saying that us, Evan and Molly, were all working together. And we were like, we're not. We had that chat that wasn't updated for like 2 weeks. And so then it was, if people are gonna think we're working together, like we might as well take advantage of it. So, and it's funny because I think that's what cemented us winning was Andrew pushing us together, us being like, let's work together, and then Evan, you know, evicting Ingrid because Evan and Ingrid were super close, and he just lost Molly the week before. But I think Andrew, in his weird way, pushed us to winning.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say, like, there's some people who did not handle being on the block well, and that includes Andrew and Crispy. And I remember you said you wanted to give Crispy a rundown, but he decided against it, and it just wasn't handled as it should have been, like how they
Yeah,
thought it.
I enjoyed Crispy so much as a person, and I think just like the relationship and I had was great. And then I did feel bad nominating him. Like I would never, any other person in the game, I would not give them a rundown why I didn't nominate them. Like I was ready to show him all our cards because I respected him as a person, but he didn't want to hear that. I think he only listened to the things that he wanted to listen to because we gave him like solid reasons as to why. And he just took it as, oh, Robert and Victoria think I'm just like too social and too nice, and that's why. And it was like, no, that's not it. And then even like at the finale, like Angela asked us like about the whole ghosting people. And I just mentioned, I was like, it happens, it's life. And I was like there, and I mentioned the trend of like telling people that you evicted them. And I was like, nobody told me that they were evicting me. But I was like, they also had 5 minutes. I didn't hold it against him. And then Crispy was like, you did hold it against people. And I was like, that's no, like that's different. So
And also, yeah, I feel like when I feel like Evan, he kind of messed himself up in the final tribal, especially with those rumors and the alleged pre-game alliance, and it just really messed him up. I feel like if that didn't happen, there's a chance he would have been the winner.
it's like I didn't think there was a pregame alliance, but we're all four of them working together. Of course they were. Like it wasn't, I don't think it was pregame. I think they were just working together because like everyone knew that Grace and Trevor were working together. And then Trevor and Adam, by extension, were working together. And then Crispy mentioned multiple times that he was working with Trevor and Adam to me. So it's like we all knew that. I don't think all four of them had I mean, maybe they did. I don't think all four of them had a chat though. And we're like, let's control the game like we had with Molly, Andrew, Rose. But I just think that you didn't have to say it was a pregame alliance because like I knew Allison and Michael Randall before this game, and I considered both of them friends at that time, and we saw what happened. So they're now both deleted and blocked on my social media. So
Wait, who's blocked?
both. I think Michael Randall I just had deleted, but Allison I had the block because after she like went to the jurors yelling at them for voting for us, I was like, I thought we were friends. Like I know you like Evan more than me, that's fine, that doesn't bother me, but like I wouldn't ever do that to a friend, because like we were going to be so excited if Evan won.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, and the same
I
energy would
would,
have been given back.
yeah, if Evan would have won, I would have been like, good, you deserve to win. Like, you played a really hard game. Like, you did a great job at winning comms. You did a great job at setting yourself up for winning. But I wouldn't like go to the jurors and be like, how dare you not vote for this person? And like in any, I don't know, not cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and I feel like that's so petty. And remember when Allison, like, when we became one, I was like saying, "Oh, you're my orc husband," whatever. She literally came in my DMs, and if I didn't say I liked somebody else, I'm pretty sure she would have like came for me. And I showed Molly it, and she was like, "Girl, she's being catty," and it was just like, it was just so unnecessary. I just don't get her problems. Like, she's a grown ass woman, and she's acting this way. Like, this is not it. She's definitely somebody I I want to keep at an arm's length, and she's definitely somebody I'm gonna have to put in my do not plays if she continues with this behavior, because it's not cute. Like, we're not in high school anymore. Like, stop, please.
It's not. And I know, Megan, you have thoughts as well about the whole like punching thing,
Well,
which I
we're
just
being
don't
recorded,
get.
so I'm not gonna. Oh, well, we got 10 minutes left in this, but
Okay.
no, it's fine. It's totally, it's fine. Your insights is you two have such a unique perspective from any of the other players. Not just saying just because you won, hey, you've got that perspective,
Yeah.
but because you had your two like separate games in the beginning, getting evicted, but then coming back as, Robertoria, like, which is so, it just rolls right off the tongue now.
It does.
Just,
It works out well. Yeah.
and I love just listening to, I could sit here and listen to both of you all day. You have such a great insight into the game. But I
Yeah.
think you're, just from my outsider perspective, like your strengths definitely came together. Like Victoria, you said you're a little bit more on the shy side, which is fine. That's you. But like, Robert, you guys balance each other so well. So that was really fun to watch. So, oh, we scared him away. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, my dog was.
Yeah, no, my AirPods died in the middle of that. That's why you saw me like fidgeting. I'm like, that's why I'm sitting like this close, because I'm like, I can't hear. I can hear,
Yeah.
but no, thank you again, both of you, for playing. It was definitely a fun thing to watch, and you can be like, here's my winning crown, both of you. So that's oh, you guys were just, it was great. So thank you for playing and doing what you did.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm grateful to to have been casted, and Pod is literally so nice and just so sweet, and like literal sweethearts.
Yeah. No, it was, I think, like I said, like my perspective on the first chunk of the game was like, why is this so dramatic? This is not real life. Like, this is just for fun. Why is it so crazy? And then it kind of evened out. Like, my only like qualms, and this is no one's fault but my own, but I was just like, I felt like I played to meet people, right? And I felt like I had a really weird, people had a really weird first impression of me if I didn't get to them quick enough. That's what I was like most upset about. I was like, this kind of sucks that people are gonna have this first impression that I'm this like super vindictive person when I'm just like, you get voted out, you get voted out. Like, I got voted out and I was like, bye guys. And then
Yeah,
like,
the twist happened.
Like, I would tell Robert he's in his reputation era.
Funny. But
nice.
yeah, no, like I said, it was super fun. So it was great meeting people, and I think it's really great that like we got the votes that we got from those people, because like I think it's a really good turning point that like Trevor was able to vote for us, and like Adam voted for us when like I barely had a relationship with him, and like I don't know. I will say I think this is the game I played the most honest. Like, once the jury phase hit, like I don't know, I didn't like feel like I had to be like sneaky or like conniving. I was just very upfront with people while I was evicting them. And like I remember both Adam and Trevor were like, you're the only one who told us this. They were like, everyone else isn't saying anything. And I was like, I don't know what there is to hide. Like, it is what it is, I guess.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, it was super fun. Comps were really fun. Those are always, I'm trying to think of any like crazy moment that happened that just like,
Yes, and I have to say my favorite moment in this game was when Adam got voted out and he was just slaying. He just walked out with his house. It was amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, he had a good exit.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it was just so much fun to watch. your insights. Like again, I could sit here all day. But no, you guys are awesome, awesome people. I'm actually gonna pause the recording here.
Okay.
So thank you, thank you.